Boom. Okay, let's do this, shall we? What up, Suns fans? The Suns come back in a game two of the preseason to beat the Detroit Pistons 105 to 97. And I am here to talk about the preseason and more in just a few.
Kevin Durant delivers. Gorgeous move for Bradley Beal.
Personally, I feel like that brother needed help.
Devin Booker with the clutch three.
Okay, we are back. We had a little, if you guys caught last preseason game, I we had a little bit of a streaming error, but I think it should be good. I think I done everything right, but that's besides the point. So the Suns, we are preseason game two against the Detroit Pistons, and we send the Pistons home with the 1-1 record in the preseason as we take our second win on the road. And whoo, if you've seen the last preseason show that I talked about of the Suns against the Lakers, I pretty much got it all out there. You know, the Suns starters, they looked good. They just needed more cohesion. They just really needed to work on their offense. You know, just work off the off season rust that most players tend to have. And rookies will start out the season, especially in their first game, kind of shaky and nervous, and so they might not perform well. That might affect their performance. um, that was all set aside during this game. We really got to see a lot more polish from the Suns. A lot of the problems we had last game, we really started to see um, Mike Budenholzer and the Suns just doubling down on all of them as well. So again, he wanted Mike Budenholzer emphasized the fact that we should take more threes. Well, in this freaking game, we attempted 46 threes and made 34% of them. Now, that's quite low of a percentage, but we still attempted 46 threes, which is amazing and is a big problem we had last season was that we weren't attempting enough threes. And once you have freaking Boston out there attempting 40 a night, it's hard to compete in the math game. So we got to see a lot more of that tonight, and I'm really happy about that. I did see. So usually for how a preseason game goes, you don't really play your starters during the second half. But we did get to see our stars play a little more later into the game than usual, and I think that could have been for multiple reasons. The starting lineup so far of Tyus, Booker, Bill, KD, and Plumlee so far, you know, that's just more reps for them. Of course, we run the risk of injury, but I mean, when you're kind of in the sports world, anything becomes an injury at any point in time. So, I mean, that's kind of the risk, but we either don't, you either take it or you don't. And, and that was a big concern last year is that the big three just needed more time. So with this new lineup with Tyus Jones, a much needed point guard and facilitator on the team, we're now finally getting that time. And also another reason I could see why they played into the third quarter is just to get used to taking that many threes. The Suns barely reached the 40 mark. Like they barely reached the 40 mark a couple times during last season. I could only think of like one game off the top of my head last season where they attempted 43s. So, I could see this as an exercise just to get in the mindset for the starters to get used to attempting that many threes. So, you just love to see it. KD, uh, let's talk about those starters now. KD, last game, I was a little bit concerned He didn't have the best or greatest game last game, um, and being the Suns fans we are, we tend to overreact when it comes to one game. Um, but KD really came back this game. He really stepped it up, and he ended the night with 21 points and just amazing production on all sides. He got some rebounding, he got some assists. Didn't turn over the ball once, which is one thing he says he's been working on over the offseason. And well, he had 4 fouls, but I mean, yeah, that's a little troublesome. But other than that, KD had a great game. That's why I'm repping. You can't really see it, but I'm repping a KD jersey today. So shout out KD for having a great game. Booker is still Booker. He's still awesome, showing amazing production out there. Actually, okay, I may take that back because looking at these, I'm just looking at these stats now. Devin Booker went 4 of 13, an 0-6 from three. Really interesting game from him, but I think he didn't really need to have a great game because everyone was launching so many threes. And I haven't even gotten to the best part of this. The best part about this game, which I'll get to later on. And just to round out the starters, we have Bradley Bill, who last game I did say that I wanted to see him more aggressive. I wanted to see him out there. He lost some weight over the offseason, and I wanted to see him more explosive. Be that Bradley Bill that we all used to know him as. And this game, I think he really started to sow some blah, blah, sow some sparks of what he's capable of. He has some great spot up threes out there, and he had a great jumper. You know, great some nice little mid ranges, and he ended the night with 12 points, 5 of 9 from the field, and 2 of 4 from three. Also, just rounding out the big three with coming in with 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. And pretty much that was the tone that was set this game. What I noticed so differently about the Suns this game is that they were so aggressive this game. I mean, it might have to do a little bit with the refs allowing a little more this game. Because if you're watching this game pretty closely, you would have noticed how aggressive everyone was, especially on the Suns. And that was awesome to see. Beal and most other guys, they were fighting, they were scratching, basically prying away the ball from the Pistons most of the time. And that's why tonight we ended with 11 steals and 11 blocks or 9 blocks and forced the Pistons to have 20 turnovers. Crazy. And that's really what you love to see, especially coming from last season when, you know, we kind of reached that funk of last season where like KD and Book, started to be a little more lackluster, and it really just seemed like they were arguing over every call. And it's not really Suns basketball. This is Suns basketball. Shooting that many threes and playing aggressive defense. Now, the defense wasn't all perfect. It got better throughout the game, but, there's bits and parts of the game that, kind of wished you wanted more. And what I mean by that is that, like, to begin the game, the Pistons started out, like, really aggressive. Again, they basically did what was so effective with the Lakers. They just ran downhill, lots of cuts, a lot of rim runs, and they just kept getting into the paint really fast every play. And they were just able to finish around the rim really effectively today. And that ended with the night with the Pistons having 42 points in the paint. Now, going forward, um, it's really going to be interesting to see how we deal with that, especially with bigger teams with, you know, the kind of like big, big center boys, who's going to deal with Giannis, who's going to deal with Jokic, these kind of big guys that could just body people in the paint. It's it's really interesting to see what the Suns are going to have to do. Now, obviously, we're missing our starting center, Nurkic, so we'll have to see. But just a great night from the starters. We got to see a little more of them to stretch their legs out this night, which, I mean, no one got injured. Fingers crossed. So, you know, as long as no one got injured, it was meaningful minutes for them just to get more reps and more playtime, and get ready for the upcoming season. So, kind of a win-win in my books. But Tyus Jones also had an amazing game, no turnovers, and he made it three of five, and he was just overall dishing them out, like 7 assists today. Amazing. I still can't believe we have him on this team. It's a dream. It's such an improvement from Point Book last season. It's amazing, really, how it really is. So, I guess the last person we should talk about here is Mason Plumlee, the starting center. Well, current starting center. He's everywhere you kind of look, you'll see him marked as the Suns off the bench backup center. Through 2 games, I know we're 2 games in. I didn't want to pick at him too much from the first game, but now that we're going into game 2, we're starting to see a lot more of Mason Plumlee and what he's able to do, considering that we're only working with like 2 main centers for this whole game. I mean, it's been Plumlee and Oso. Plumlee just is starting to look like not that great of a pickup. I mean, I'm not too familiar with his history in LA. There's been a lot of, rules, or not rules, but more like news and more, behind the talk, or behind the back chatter, around Mason Plumlee being not that great. I held my breath, and well, he doesn't look that great of a pickup now. Uh, Mainly because he's not really great at anything. Like this game, he struggled at laying up and finishing around the baskets. He's not a 3-point shooter, and he doesn't really do great at bodying people in the paints or blocking shots. He's not a rim protector, and he's not really a facilitator or a passer. So in my mind right now, he's just kind of at a weird place. He's another body on the floor just for the sake of having another body on the floor. He got a lot of free throw attempts. He attempted 4 free throws this game and made 3 of them. In my mind, it seemed like a lot more, but all right. Um, but if that's the case, at least Plumlee get that free throw up. I When you're leaving, when Plumlee doesn't contribute much, at least make your free throws. Is what I'm just trying to say here. But I think most of tonight was taken up by the fantastic performance of our new rookies. Now we're done talking about the starters, let's talk about our bench, because the big names of tonight, in my opinion, is the new quote unquote twins in the Phoenix area. Now, I've seen a lot of debates, especially for the Suns fans that were still around for Mikel and Cameron Johnson, the old twins of Phoenix. I've seen a lot of debate, people calling these new rookies, Oso and Dunn, well, Ryan, Oso and Ryan, the new Twins 2.0, as you might add. And, a lot of, they spent the off season bundled up together, just chilling. You can't really find a photo out there of them just being by themselves. They're always kind of paired out, paired up with each other. Um, but also very interesting this game is that they were the first off the bench. Like as soon as the game started, they were first off the bench, and Ryan Dunn it strikes again. Okay, a lot of the worries from the offseason was to mention that Ryan Dunn doesn't have that much of an offensive bag. He was mainly brought here in Phoenix for his defensive prowess, which he absolutely delivered in today's game. He was amazing to watch for the first half of this basketball game. He absolutely locked up and threw a wrench into Cade Cunningham's offense many times, straight up ripping the ball out of his hands, stopping the play, and then turning around and swishing the three. Like if you're gonna be on Twitter tonight and you are somewhat related to the Suns community, that is going to be the highlight you're going to be seeing tonight. A lot of is Ryan Dunn stripping the ball from Cade Cunningham and splashing it on the three on the other side. Now, I don't want to overreact here, but JJ might have cooked. James Jones drafting. He's back. We're back. It's as simple as that. Rookie of the year. We'll have to wait a little more into the until the regular season to see about that. But for right now, Ryan Dunn is looking as an amazing pickup for the Suns. He plays defense, and holy crap, is he good at it! And he is 3 of 5 from 3 points. Not a bad game from Ryan Dunn. 10 points on the board for him. Sprinkling some rebounding, 4 rebounds, an assist, a steal, and 2 blocks. Amazing. Ryan Dunn could possibly make it in as a rotation player, which is really great because the more help we have, the better. This team is probably going to be really deep by the time regular season comes around. I'm loving what I'm seeing from this team right now, and it's ecstatic. It's electric. And you even see it on the players' faces on the court. This game, they're happy. Everyone's having fun again. It's Suns basketball is fun now, which is something if you told me last season, I would have ignored you. And now let's mention the other side of that coin, the other twin. Also had an amazing game, and played 21 minutes. He was 3 of 5. Most of them were layups, never attempts a three. Um, he acquired 7 rebounds, which I believe is the most on the whole team, and 4 assists along with that. 2 blocks. He had 3 turnovers, but we ignore that. But just wow. Also played a lot of minutes with the starting lineup and some with the bench. And, at this point, it might be a little overreacting, but like most media about the Suns for about the upcoming roster, most depth charts have freaking Oso as a third string player. Not really a backup or the starter. We knew that coming into the season. But at this point, the way that Mason Plumlee has been playing and how Oso has just been showing off so much potential in his game. Oso just might be the backup center for the Suns going forward. And I don't have any problem with that. I also played great today. Mason Plumlee just has to do better if he wants to keep up his backup center duties. But the main reason why we have Mason Plumlee as backup is because of his experience, veteran. He's a veteran in the field, so that he has upper hand on Oso, and Oso still has a long time to go. But man, is he making good progress out there. It is amazing to work, or amazing to just see him do so. Now, the rest of the bench had an amazing game. O'Neal was still good. He had his moments in the spotlight. 4 of 6, 3 of 5. Well, 4 of 6 from the field, 3 of 5 from three. Very nice. That's what we like to see. Josh Okogie also, I mean, he didn't have his, you know, as the Suns broadcaster put it on the live stream, he didn't have his Kobe moment, his Josh Okogie moment. But like he was still really good defensively and the hustle side, which is really making him just a really nice piece. Would really like him to start shooting better because he was 2 of 7 from the field and 0 of 2 from three. It's just a one step forward, 2 steps back with Josh Okogie. Monte Morris also had a nice game. Damian Lee had a questionable game, and not by performance by any means. He, I mean, he only attempted one shot, played 5 minutes, but those 5 minutes left me really concerned. As last night's main story, or when we faced the Lakers 2 days ago, one of the main stories was Damian Lee's recovery process. Um, and then in this game, in the fourth quarter, when Damian Lee was out on the floor, he did get into a scuffle with one of the Detroit players. Um, that didn't really lead anywhere. It wasn't like a full on fight or anything. It looked more just like an accident than anything else. Um, but after a couple more plays, Damian Lee did look a bit tired out. He attempted a three. He just looked kind of rough walking up the court as he walked into the three. Um, and then he went out. He went to the locker room in the fourth quarter. So I don't think there's been any news about Damian Lee as of yet, but hopefully this does not mean he is injured. I mean, from the looks of it, he was like holding onto his leg. So I don't know. We just gotta hope because Damian Lee, I wanted to see more of him. I've never got to see any of his game. I saw a bit of it for that Lakers game, and I was really hoping for more. So, prayers out to Damian Lee. Hopefully, it's not a bad injury, or if an injury at all. But besides Damian Lee, I think I already talked about Monte Morris. He was all right. Another concerning factor about today's game. So Mason Plumlee is one. Another is Bol. Now, we love our Bol here in Phoenix. He's amazing. He was amazing last season. He just absolutely shot the ball well. Just great energy straight off the bench. And I mean, who doesn't love Bol? I still don't get it. Like, it's like an urban legend nowadays. The way Bol, as soon as he steps up to the scorer's table, the whole arena just loses their mind. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, I don't get how everyone just loves Bol. It's amazing. And it must be really, what's the word I'm thinking of here? Must be really assuring and build up his confidence. Because the best thing, one thing better than a bowl is a confident bowl. But tonight's bowl seemed kind of off. Okay, and you really hate to see it. He had some bad shots. Of course, you miss a couple shots every now and then. But tonight I didn't really see him bring it. You know, he went 1 of 3 from the field and 0 of 2 from 3. Both of those 3-pointers were open, by the way. And I'm not a basketball player, but I'd say 2 of those 3 field goals were also pretty easy for him. And also, Bobo had his moments last season where it was like he made rookie mistakes. That part is fine. He's still learning, he's still growing, and we just want him to make this jump into next season to become even better than before. But he's still making rookie mistakes here. At least it's in the preseason, and at least he got time to play, and he made at least one basket. But going forward, like to see a little more confidence from Bol, more aggression. Okay. For now, he just really likes to whip the freaking ball like across court as a pass. So it's fine. But I am waiting on the Bol game. We're going to get one. Everyone has their one, and Bol's going to get his, okay? I want to see it, okay? Is that too much to ask? So, no Grayson Allen tonight because he is currently, I think it's his birthday, and it is also he's having a child. So he was out for personal reasons tonight. So congratulations, Grayson Allen. Really awesome. So that is pretty much it. Suns did great tonight. Amazing. I was a little bit worried about this one because I wasn't sure. I don't know that much about the Detroit offseason. So in this game where it was especially like bench against bench for most of the game, a majority of the games, I was kind of worried that, Detroit has all these picks and all these draft picks, so, they might do better than ours. But Mike Budenholzer shut all that up by just playing the starters in the third quarter, and here we are. We're 2-0 in the preseason, and we'll be facing Detroit again on Friday. So, a little longer wait this time. But we'll be there. Okay. So I think that's about it. There's not much more to add on to today's game other than it was just great. I mean, there's still a little unshaved areas, but hopefully they will be fixed in the future. And, Suns win. Another day, another win from the boys in purple. Okay. So that will do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll be back again Friday. So until then, go Suns!
Kevin Durant delivers. Gorgeous move from Bradley Beal.
Personally, I feel like that brother needed help.